What's up, radiant souls? As you know, this is a safe space for like-minded individuals who prioritize what? Who prioritize wellness. So today we're going to be talking about your intentions behind every action that you take, right? So if your intentions are not right and you have malicious intent when you're operating in the world, you're going to get that energy back. So again, everything you do needs to be from a place of being not bitter-hearted. You need to come from a place of being kind-hearted. Because if you're operating from a place of hurt, from a place of victimhood, from a place of revenge, you're going to lose and you're wasting God woke you up and he gave you another chance at life every day. Everybody don't get that chance, and you're going to use the chance that God gave you in life to put negative energy into the universe. Like, you have to check yourself. Don't do anything with bad intention. So if that person wronged you, if that person stole from you, if that person belittled you, if that person just took advantage of you, if you feel like you were working a job that didn't appreciate you, somebody took money from your business, whatever it is that happened, never try to seek revenge, okay? So even when you take the short end of the stick, check your intentions with the person. If you know you can't do right by a person, or if you can't be around a person without maliciously like thinking like, oh, I should do this to them, just don't be around them. Like, forgiveness does not require reconnection. And I think a lot of the time people try to force themselves to be around individuals who betrayed them or who have really disappointed them deeply, and then they end up mistreating this person because they're operating from a place of being revengeful or vindictive, and they feel like this person deserves to be mistreated, when in reality, that ain't your, you're not the judgment maker. God is the judgment maker. And when you scrutinize somebody for the mistakes that they make and you belittle them as a person after they're trying to apologize to you, or even if they apologize and they're just like, I don't know what else to do, you're accountable for energy you're putting into the universe and for how you're making that person feel, because it's your responsibility to not have anybody around you that you can't treat with the basic level of human kindness and consideration. So if a relationship is beyond the point of repair, if it's to the point where it's like, nah, I'm gonna mistreat this person, I'm gonna be vindictive to this person, my intentions are not pure, get away from them people. It is a privilege to have access to you, but that does not mean you get to punish people who mishandled you. That does not mean, again, so you're telling me if somebody hits your car, let's use an example, somebody hits your car and they do a hit and run, but you have uninsured motorists, so anyway, they end up finding them, and then you go and you do something maliciously to this person because they didn't do the morally correct thing. Now you're on their level. And a wise man said, if you look from afar and you see two people arguing, you can't tell who the fool is. So you're just as foolish as them. So always move with pure intentions, even when people do malicious things to you. You never want to pick up the energy of another individual just because they hurt you, or just because they disappointed you, or just because they didn't move the way that you think that they should have moved. People operate at their level of consciousness. So if someone's doing things that are maliciously evil, or that are just not morally correct, get away from them people. Don't let them have access to you. And if you can't control being around those people, then limit your conversation with them. Like, limit it, because again, God judges us based off of our intention, and our intention determines, like, I feel like the cause and effect that comes into our life. So like consequences, action. So if you were genuinely trying to do something kind for somebody and then you couldn't do it, God still gives you the blessings of whatever kind it was that you were going to do for this person. So it's like, intentions are so important. And it's the same if you wish harm on somebody. If you were trying to harm somebody, your intentions were to mentally, emotionally, or physically harm somebody, and it didn't come to fruition, but you wanted to do that, you're responsible for having those bad and those poor intentions. God just probably protected the person from your poor intentions. But I kind of make it a habit, when people do wrong things to me, instead of me being malicious or saying bad things about them, I'll just be like, God, just bless them to not do that. Like, I'll say a prayer for them to stop this behavior, because even when you say bad prayers towards somebody, like, God punish them for that, sometimes that can come back on you. You don't want to be that person. You want to be gracious. You want to be merciful. Oh, my allergies. What is that? Every time the air comes out, I sneeze at anybody's house. But anyway, you want to have good intentions. You want to be kind-hearted, and you don't want to let what other people do to you make you become a person that you don't want to be. And let's think about the story of Adam, right? When the world was created, Adam and Eve ate the forbidden fruit, and God forgave them. Like, Adam knew that if God didn't forgive him, he would be of the unfortunate. So God forgave him, but earth was still created. he wasn't still able to live the same way. So again, this is an indicator that there are consequences to our actions, even when God forgives us. So when you move through life, move with good intentions so that the consequences to your actions aren't from evil or malicious intent. And I know it's hard. We live in a world where people will push you to be your worst self, and that's your indicator to get away from them. Anytime I'm around individuals and they push me to want to like step out of character or show them, or put my foot down to the point where like I'm really having to just stand on business, I'm gonna get away from them, because they're calling me to be a version of myself that I don't want to be. I don't want to be mean to nobody. I don't want to be aggressive to nobody. Like, I don't want to have to like be passive aggressive for you to just consider or respect me. So I'm going to be intentional about what I do, and I'm going to strategically remove myself before we have collision, before we have, arguments, before I start moving unintentionally. Because have you ever noticed when you get angry, sometimes you'll say things that are unintentional, or you'll like maliciously say things to hurt. It's not like you're conscious of it, but it's like you're not operating from a place of consciousness in the moment. You're being unconscious. So you're doing malicious things, intentionally saying things that you know are going to hurt somebody. And then the relationship will never be the same again. Then you're going to cause something that you really don't want the effect of. So it makes more sense to just not move hastily and always move with pure intentions and let God fight your battles. When somebody wrongs you, let God fight your battles. I'm not saying let nobody bully you, but limit access to you. But when somebody talks down on your name, let God clear the air. You ain't got to check them. When somebody falls short, you ain't got to scrutinize them. Pray for them that God corrects them. Be like, God, correct them. They did this to offend me. God, bless them to stop doing it. Like, when you're a pure-hearted person and you move with a pure heart by choice, you're putting that energy into the universe and you're going to get it back. But when you're a malicious person, when you move with bad intentions, you're also going to get that back as well. So God sees and hears everything we do. As Muslims, we believe there's an angel before you and there's an angel behind you. Every step you take, they're writing down everything you do. So it's almost like you're never alone. You're always protected, and be careful. God knows your true intentions. So you could try to fool people and not take accountability, manipulate, victimize yourself. But in reality, sometimes our intentions don't be good. Sometimes we do things out of somebody hitting a place of our ego, and now we want to strike them back. Like I've been there. We all been there. So just be real with yourself and try to move from a place of more consciousness and more awareness, so that, you don't have that chip on your shoulder. Because sometimes you have a guilty conscience, and you move maliciously when certain things happen in your life, certain things start going wrong in your life. You're like, is it because I did this? Or who knows what it could be from. So just move with pure intent, no matter what other people do. And I had to learn this the hard way, because when I was in my early 20s, I was so tired of people just taking advantage of my kindness, trying to manipulate me, that I will always be really strategic with my strike backs. And it wasn't like I tried to hurt them, but once you show me you don't care about me, I don't care about you either. And I'm not going to consider you either. And I think that versus me just cutting access to the person off, I didn't do things consciously, maliciously, like from a conscious place of maliciousness. But I did things that were just not, my intentions weren't good, because I had ill intent, or I didn't like this person, or this person did this to me, so I didn't care to consider them. But even if you don't like somebody, consideration is a part of your character. Respect is a part of your character. So before you cross a line, or you're unkind, or you're rude to somebody just because they did something you didn't like, be intentional and remove access and maintain your character. So, because again, from afar, when two fools are arguing, you don't know who the fool is when two people are arguing. So you're just as foolish as them when you stoop down to their level. And in order to maintain a certain level of intentionality and integrity, be conscious about, why am I doing this? And am I doing this from a place of ego and hurt, or am I doing this from a place of me trying to help this person? Like, truly check yourself. And again, that's why seasons of isolation are necessary, so you can do the shadow work. You can go, how you gonna win when you're not right within? How you gonna attract this good stuff to your life when you're not even, like, everything is a mirror in our life. So learn from the lessons that God is teaching you, and try to be more pure-hearted and try to be more intentional. And of course, ain't nobody perfect. The only reason why I know to do this is because I was unconscious for a period of like years of my life. And until a light bulb went off, I started to seek more knowledge. I started to see, like, hold on, this happened to me because I did this. Like, I'm not, you start to check yourself, and you realize, like, I'm laying in the bed that I made because I did this, this is the effect of that. And once I took accountability for the role I played in my own suffering, I was able to check myself, check my ego, check my intentions which are so important. Intentions matter so much. Like, why am I doing this? I was able to elevate and, you know, become a more conscious person. So no, I'm not perfect, but I catch myself quicker and I don't go as far and I don't move as hastily. Like, be careful with moving quick to, like, you know, try to combat somebody. So if somebody says something that's offensive, before you respond, just be quiet. I know it's hard because the ego is like, no, stand up for yourself. But God is going to defend you. You don't have to, even if somebody seems like they got away with belittling you or mistreating you, God is going to defend you. God is going to show that person that it's not okay to treat another human like that. So if you can't find the words to talk back gracefully or respectfully, just be quiet. I've learned to just, because what do you want me to say? You want me to be rude to you back? You want me to be passive aggressive to you back? A lot of the time you can't meet an ignorant person with wisdom, and I'm definitely not about to fight you because that's an exchange of energy. I'm gonna use my energy for something better than that. So I'd rather just disengage. Okay, so be intentional with your actions, radiant souls. You're beautiful, you're smart, you're kind, you're all the good things that this life has to offer. You deserve all the good things that this world has to offer. Okay, and we're all servants of God, so nobody's above anybody. So whether you're a lawyer, you're a janitor, you're a doctor, you work at the gas station, it don't matter what career you possess, you are a servant of God. So when it seems like you don't know why certain things are happening, walk by faith, not by sight. God got you. God is leading the way for you, and be intentional and pass the test that he's giving you, because everything in this life is just a test. And as you pass the test, you start to level up. So the next time somebody tries to provoke you to be unintentional and unconscious, take your power back and just don't respond or cut off access and have good intentions. Subscribe to my channel. I post a video every single day. Something about self-help, self-development, self-improvement. Again, Radiant Souls is a safe space for like-minded individuals who prioritize wellness. So I'm working on developing a community, and it'll be an app you guys can download. But in the meantime, subscribe to my channel. We have TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And we also have podcasts on Apple. So Apple, Spotify, and YouTube podcasts. So see you guys tomorrow.